Hey there, welcome to another edition of Rhythmic Building Blocks. In this video, we're going to explain the concept of rhythmic modes, and then we're going to talk about how to use that concept in two different ways. Listening to music and recognizing these rhythms, and using these rhythmic modes as a launching off point for your own musical creativity. So, what are rhythmic modes? We actually started talking about this in the last video, although I wasn't referring to it as rhythmic modes then, because when I googled it, the only thing that I found was something about medieval music, which has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But fortunately, since then, I have seen that Anthony Wellington and Victor Wooten have talked about this concept and called it the same thing. So now I feel confident in using that term. Rhythmic modes are the rhythmic version of what we normally in music would just call modes, which are the modes of a scale. So just like with a scale, where you take the set of 7 notes and shift the starting place in order to get 7 different modes, here we're taking a rhythm and we're shifting the starting place to get 16 different rhythmic modes. So the example that we used last time is this rhythm that we've been calling the Charleston rhythm. We start with just this one rhythm, but then by shifting it around the measure, you end up with all 16 of these different rhythmic modes. You can also think of this as rhythmic displacement. This is just an extremely exhaustive version of that finds all of the possible permutations. The benefits of doing this, and the reason why I really like to work on this stuff, is I play in bands that are pretty rhythmically complicated. So if I'm on stage with Snarky Puppy or Fork or Bocante, it's not really going to work for me to have a limited rhythmic vocabulary. First of all, just to play the written parts can be pretty complicated, but also when it comes to improvisation and interacting with other musicians, if I hear someone playing a certain rhythm, I want to be able to match them or complement them in some other way, and in order to do that, I really need to be able to play any rhythm on any part of the beat. So, if you're still a little unclear about what rhythmic modes are, pause here and go back to the previous video because we go through that in a lot more detail. Otherwise, if you're with me, let's keep going. One of the things that I mentioned last time was trying to listen to songs and finding prominent examples of the modes of the Charleston rhythm. And I had one in mind. The first thing that came to mind was Hot in Here by Nelly. It has a very prominent example of this, and actually it's a really cool thing because it actually uses 2 of these modes to create like an A-B phrase. So, check it out. Oh! 1, 2, da, da. 1, 2, 1, 2, ba, ba, 1, ba, ba. What is it? Since we have this pattern, I'm gonna improvise in between that pattern. So okay, here's a totally different one. This is Joe Jackson's Steppin' Out, which has a much slower, straighter, 8th note based kind of Charleston rhythm. One and two, and... So let's just take that as inspiration and see where we can go with that. Just gonna kick the tempo up a little bit. I got my little drums here. You know what? Extra credit if you can tell what song these drums are sampled from. Anyway, let's make a song. Yeah, that's going to be the beat. We're going to loop it, and I'm going to add another track of audio input 2 from my guitar. Little weird delays on there. Let's try that. Is that cool? I'm just gonna find some bass. I don't know what's. That's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe that. So, the guitar right now is doing version 1 followed by version 12, and then the bass meanwhile is doing 1 and 9. So now I'm just gonna pick some of these other modes and create some complementary parts. Yeah, so this second guitar part, it's more like a sort of rhythmic percussive thing as a response to the bass. So if we listen to just the bass and this together. What the heck? Let's double it on a keyboard. That just sounds fun. It's kind of sweet. Okay, maybe I'll pan them around for more fun. So I'm going to try to add in another one. So basically right now I've got version 1 and 3. So now I'm going to see if I can slide in a new part on version 2. It might be dumb. We'll see. And you know, just to make it really obvious, I'm going to take off this delay that's on these and just listen to these by themselves. Maybe with the bass. So, bass note, high note, medium note. They all fit right in between each other. The delay, since it's in time, is helping to kind of mask all of that and make it more of like one sound. So here's it with the delay. I'm just gonna pick one kind of at random. Let's do number 15. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Something like that. Not particularly doing great at the drums. I think there's a little bit of a lag. It's not just me. Okay, so that's the rhythm. And we'll do a different bass sound. Something not too annoying. That's not it at all. There we go. Da, da, da. So yeah, I mean, like, there's different ways to go about this. Like, one way is to say, I'm going to use as many different permutations of this Charleston rhythm as possible to make a song. The other way is to say, I'm just going to start with that as a potential concept and then go somewhere with it. So this isn't necessarily going to have anything to do with the Charleston rhythm. This is just what I'm hearing to go next. Hold on. That's the idea, but I gotta loop this thing. Okay. Here. Boom. I like that. Because the bass line and the drums are so off the beat, boom, boom, I think it's cool for the melody to come right in on one. I mean, ignoring this little build-up guy, which I do love, we've got meow, meow, meow. Hello? That scared the shit out of me. Okay, I'm back. Where were we? So, we were talking about this melody. Since the bass note is this sort of off-kilter, syncopated thing, then the melody is right on the downbeats. But then the second time you repeat those same three notes, but faster, and they actually line up with the bass pretty well. And then the last phrase happens in the middle where there is no bass part, but then the last note lines up with the last bass phrase. And also, the last note of the melody is the root, whereas the bass has 5-1, so the root and the 5 line up together, which makes it a little bit less predictable than it would be if they both hit the root at the same time. So here's it all together. How about number 6? 1, 3, 2, 1, and 3. But let's do a different tempo. We haven't really done medium. We've done fast and kind of slowish. Oh no, that's too fast. Let's do it like there. Actually, you know what might be cool? So this is another way of using these that isn't quite so obvious. Let's say we took this bass and we sequenced it. Yeah, this would be cool. This would be like, I don't know, kind of like a minor blues. Okay, I gotta clean that up because that was a mess. Okay, so for this one, we're taking the rhythmic idea of number 6, but we're filling in all the rests with 16th notes to make this repeated bass line, and then the rhythm is just formed by the changes in the bass line. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 8, 3. 1, 2, 8, 3. 1, 2, 8, 3. 1, 2, 8, 3. 2, 8, 3. And I could keep this pattern going. Yeah, let's do guitar. I'm not a good keyboard player. Guitar 3. Yeah, I mean, why not double that on a flangery guitar? You obviously would double it on a flangery guitar. Alright, so I hope you found that illuminating, or at least enjoyable. If you're sticking with me this long, you might as well subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends. Also, if you want to dig deeper into this stuff, I have a Patreon page that has a bunch of videos about playing guitar, recording yourself in Logic, music theory, all kinds of stuff. And if you're new here and you enjoyed this video, be sure to click the link in the description for the playlist and you can start watching this series from the beginning. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.